We'll create an application for iPhone SE in Figma. So from the top left we have selected a frame and selected iPhone SE. Now we'll create grid and define columns in that. So this will be 3 column with a margin of 16 and the gutter space of 16. So we are done with defining the frame where we will actually do our designing. Second step is where we will create a footer. From the top left we will select rectangle option, and you can see on the screen we'll drag and stretch and create a rectangle. Define size of it from the top right and then align it at the bottom. This is the place where we are going to design and place few of the icons for the mobile application. So we can select some color here from the color palette, and then we are done with the footer. So Figma has a beautiful vector tool where we can create the icons of whatever size and format we want. So here you can see on the screen I am creating few icons. Those icons will be placed on the footer. So here the first icon, you can see I am using the pen tool and designing the contact envelope icon. So what Figma has done, it has created the vector pen tool where previously it used to close. We have to end it. To close, to end it, we have to go to the start point, right? So what Figma has done beautifully, that you can leave it anywhere in the center like I just did. I will create an arrow after this, you will see. So this is the home icon. Now the way I am creating arrow, let's first align the home icon. After this I'll create an arrow. So select the pen tool and create a short half triangle. So now previously we have to end now, but what we can do is we have stretched it out, open end we can close. We don't need to go to the start point. So this is a beautiful change Figma has done. So after we are done with the creation of the tools, we will place all the tools at the footer, on the footer. Now we are creating a circle. So we have selected the circle tool from the top left and then drag it upwards and create it as a half moon, and over that a small circle. So this icon will be considered as a profile icon. So you can see towards the right side we have the options of stroke, and we can change the color of that and the intensity of that stroke. After we are done, we will select the entire icon and press Ctrl G, that is Command G if you are using the iMac. So we have created 4 icons. Now this is the fifth one where we have used first we have made a square and then we've curved the sides of the square. Then here we are trying to create a camera icon. So on the square we will place a circle. So square is a gray color, so circle that is the shutter, that will be in the white color. So we place the circle in the center. So from the top right you can see I have aligned it in the center of the camera. Now a short circle, that will be the place towards the right side of the camera. That is done. Now we will select the entire things that we have created and press Command G to group it. So you can see there are lots of groups, so we can name the groups, and so that in future it's easy for you to understand what is what. So keep defining the names of all the groups, and then we are done with creating the icons. Now next step is to place the icons one by one on the footer. So we have to place it and then size it. So you can see on the screen I am using the size option. While using it, we'll press the shift button so that the proportion is not distorted. And you can see that I have created all the icons in black color, and further what I'm going to do is we'll change the color of it to white or slightish grayish color. So with the colors we'll play a lot after we are done with the layouting. So what I am doing is I am just duplicating the icons that I have created. To duplicate on the iMac you have to press shift and option, and then you can duplicate. Oops, okay, again I'll try, press shift so that the proportion is not distorted. Okay, now here for the camera we have to reduce the curve, because when we are sizing it the curve is converting it as a circle, so that we can adjust and reduce the curve of it. You can see I'm aligning all the icons one by one as a bottom align. You can see at the top right there are lots of alignment option that really helps to consider the alignment of any object that we place. Now the next step is where we will place the thumbnails of the images that we are going to use in the gallery. In this app we are making a gallery, and after that we'll create a profile page also. So you can select the image and then place it and then size it. So now these columns are really going to help us to define the edges of the screen. So again we can use you can see at the top right I'm using how to reduce the size of the image. So either you can press shift and down arrow, or you can use shift and then scale it with the mouse. So now we are done with one icon, and next step is where we will place the other thumbnails. Select all the images. So you have the menu where from the file you can place image. So select all other images that you have to place here, open, and then press shift, and then you can keep dragging the images. While dragging you can press shift and then keep placing the images one by one, and then later on we can align the images with the help of the align options at the top right. So one by one you can keep placing the images in the proper row and columns. So now we are done, and we have to equalize all the sizes of the thumbs that we are placing. So we can do it manually, or you can define the size from the top right and assign it to all the thumbs that we are using. Okay, so this is done. Now we have to select the left part and then align left, then select the right part and then align the right column, and then we will select the center part, that will align the center column. And this really helps to define the minute alignments that we might miss when we are doing it manually. So that's it, we are done. Now the next step is to create a landing page. Let's move on to the next. So you can see I have duplicated the screen. So you can create n number of screens here using shift and option on Mac and duplicate the screen. So I have deleted all the icons, all the thumbs here, and extended the length and width of one image. Now we will work on the rest of the screen. So now you can see these columns and grids are really helping to align the image in the correct proportion. So the margins are not difficult to align when we define the column, and we can keep the column on so that the image can be placed well. Now let's give it some title. The title of the image can be like sunrise in the east. And now let's do a little work on the text part, the title part. So here we can change the size of it. The size can be 16 as a title. We will align it as per the page. First let's create all the text here. Now below that we can write some details of the image, when was it taken, and we can remove the bold option from here. Let the title only be bold, and then reduce the size of the date. Now we are done. And later on what I'm going to do is to increase the number of columns, so that I can, because I have to use more content here, so I have increased from 3 to 6 so that I can place the content precisely here. So you can see I have placed it in the second column. Now we need to do a little short thumb of the image that is placed as a bigger one. So we have created a circle here from the top left option, and selected the image again from the library and place it over it. Now we have placed it, press shift so that the proportion is not gone. Now you can see at the top we have a masking option, right? So you don't need to just click the masking option, because if you will click selecting the image will go away. Now what we have to do is, so we will drag and select the image and the circle that we have created, and then click on the mask option. Now you can see the circle is containing the image, and a small thumb is created of the bigger image. Quickly create the login page. That will be the first page that we missed creating. So now we are creating the login screen, so we will duplicate the screen here and place it towards the left, so that the screens are in the sequence. That will help us in the prototyping when we'll do the final round. So let's remove everything from the screen and use the rectangle option and create 2 rectangles here. So now here in this screen the columns are 3 only, so because we don't need much of the content here. Now you can see I have curved a little so that it looks a little classy, and the color of it is a little grayish, and I will reduce opacity of it. So you can press shift and down arrow if you want to do the shortcut, otherwise you can fill in the number there. Now this is done, and we will duplicate this layer. A little alignment is needed, so we'll align it in the center of the screen from the top right, and then let's work on the duplication part. So we need 2 rectangles here. In the first rectangle we will click and write username. So let's work on the text part of here. Change the size of the text to font to 16. Figma usually use the default font as Inter. That is a very beautiful font, so we can continue using it. Now you can see I am reducing the visibility of the text that I have used, that is username, by changing the color to gray, and then duplicate it and place it in the below screen and change it to password. Now there is a third button. This will be a button option, so it will be a little the height of the rectangle will be a little more as compared to the first two rectangles, because eventually it's going to be a button. So let's work on it a little. Here I have kept it as a ghost button. So the ghost button is where the filling is not there, only the outline is visible. So I have given it a stroke of 1 and then curved the angles. That makes it look a little classy. Now copy the text with the same formatting. You can change the layering from the left side. You can see this layering option in Figma is really helpful. And then I have aligned it as a center. Now I will align the top two as center align, and the text has to be kept as left align. So we have to keep the text, username and password as left line. Now we are done with the username and the password and the submit button. So we are increasing the size of the title a little, and this fine tuning is done. So what I am trying to do here is to give a little different background color to the login screen. As you can see, the other screens are having white color. So here in the login screen, let's try to give it a little different shade. So I am trying different colors here. After trying different shades, I have selected this shade. You can see various options here. You can go with whatever option suits, and then in the gradient I have used gray and a little purplish. These squares are where you can move the angular part of the gradient, and then we are almost done with the login screen. Now the next step is to design the profile page, the profile screen. So in the profile screen, we will first duplicate the screen, and the entire content we have to remove because we will create a fresh content. So let's first drag and delete the content that is from the duplicate page. From the top right, you can see there are two modes, design and prototype. I'll tell you further how we use the prototype mode to define the links of it. So now you can see I am changing the title to profile, and then let's select the color picker and choose the color of the footer, and let's make it a little deeper and change the font size to 24. Yeah, this looks apt, and then we will center align it. Now the next step is to design the profile picture. So here I've decided to use a circular thumb here. So let's design a circle and then select the image, drag it over the circle. Here we'll use the masking tool, that is a beautiful tool in Figma. And then what we need to do is drag and select both the circle and the image, and then you can click on the mask and you can change the position of the image. So now we are done with the profile picture. We need to select, center align, and then we are done. Now below that we have to use a title. So let's give it a title of the profile, that is the name, and then central line. We have to cut down all the blank spaces so that the align option works well. So now I have given a name to the image and give it bold. The size of the text we can keep as 24, and this color looks a little harsh, so we can change the color with the color picker. The color of the text can be matching with the footer. Below that we need to create more text content. So let's give different text contents here. This can be the email ID of the profile picture, center line. The text can be a little smaller in size. Let's give it size 12 maybe, and then change the color to a grayish color. Let's make it 14, and yeah, this looks good. And then center line, and then place it a little upward just below the title of the profile picture. So now we are done with the title and the email description. So what I am trying to do is I have copied the text style of the email. So we will use the same text style, and I have duplicated the text with Shift and Option on Mac. So using the same text feature, text style, I have duplicated it again and defined the followers and number of followings. So this is what looks apt for a profile page, where we define the followers and the following. That is a very beautiful part of UX designing, where we can define what should be there on the profile page. And then what is more important is that how many views this profile has got. So here we've done the 3 texts. Oops, okay, and then we have to align it one by one. And below that we will create a rectangle from the top left rectangle option. Reduce the opacity of it, and then we'll keep it in the first 3 columns and round the columns, round the angles a little bit, and then give different buttons to it. Step is where we will give 2 button options. One is the edit profile, where the user can edit the profile, and one is the view profile. So you can see I am placing aligning the text over the button, and then drag it and make it as a group, Ctrl G, and then you can duplicate it. So you can make the group later or during when you are working. So the first button is edit and the second button is show profile. So now we are done with the first part. Now let's duplicate the email text part, and then we have to what the profile page needs is that whatever uploads that particular photographer has done, because this is an app for where the photographer is uploading the images. So now we will select the images and use the images of the photographer as the thumbs. Here we are using the rectangular part. You can see all the images are of different proportion. So let's shift drag one by one all the images, and then we will define them with the masking option. So like you can see, this is a vertical image that we have to control with the masking. So let's first place all the images, and then what we'll do is just define the mask for a particular size. Previously when we used to when Figma was not there, then we had to cut and define everything in the programming. Now these three images, we have taken 2 columns each for the images and trying to place it. Let's drag all these images out of the screen and first define the placeholder of what the size of the thumbs should be. So I'm trying to keep a square or a rectangle. Let's see what suits here. So I think the rectangular size of the images or the thumbs will look good. So I have created a rectangle, and then we'll copy first all the rectangles one by one. So 3 images I'm posting here in the design. So we'll place all the images over the rectangle one by one. Select the rectangle and the image and click on the mask, and repeat the same with the other 2 images. So this where we can adjust later also. Image, select the image with the placeholder, and then you can slide the images a little and then define the position of it. So what part of the thumb you want to show, you can slide it up and down and show it. So now we are done with the bottom part of the screen. Select the buttons, drag it up a little alignment of the top screen. So I've changed the size and I'm trying to align it manually. So we need a little more breathing space for the uploads option. So I have dragged it up, select everything, drag the upload option, and then we are almost done with the profile page. After we are done with the 4 screens, first is the login, the main screen and the main image screen and the profile page, we will define the names of all the screens, and then later on we'll do that prototyping so that we can present it how the screens will function. You can see a black box prototype on the home icon right here that will change, and click on the first screen that accidentally that was kept black, flow so 1. I have changed it later. So now the presentation will start with the login screen. So now we have defined the first screen, and then we'll link one by one. As you click on the login button, you can see a blue box that you can drag and click to the next screen. Now you can follow what I'm doing one by one. I have clicked on the first image and dragged it to the second screen. Now the profile page will be linked to the profile icon from all the screens. So the profile icon is the rightmost icon, and we'll drag and define the link one by one. And now we are done with the prototyping. And the home icon of all the screens will be linked to the home screen. So this is where the prototyping is done. From the top right, that is the play arrow, we can play the prototype.